Do you want to eat plant-based but dread giving up your favorite treats and snacks? You know they contain dairy, egg, and come with added sugars and fat, but you're still getting snack or sugar cravings and need an alternative. So the question is, what can you eat instead? That's why I'm excited for today's episode. I want to share with you my newest favorite cookie to enjoy, and my daughter would agree. I often make these for my family and guests, and they're so incredibly simple to make that my children help me make them too. What's more, these treats are naturally refined sugar-free and make a tasty, healthy snack for adults and children alike. Join me inside this episode and let me show you how tahini and sweet potatoes pair together to form delicious, snackable cookies. Welcome to the Plant-Based Eating Made Easy podcast. I'm your host, Anna Zinn, plant-based registered dietitian and transition coach. Hi, friend. Do you want to regain your health with plant-based eating but feel overwhelmed and lost about how to do it? Do you feel it'll be hard to change your meat-heavy diet and impossible with working, running the home, or chasing after the grandkids? If so, you're in the right place. Here you'll find simple strategies, clear nutrition guidance, and practical tips to help you thrive plant-powered with more energy. So if you're ready to ditch the guesswork and transform your health the stress-free way, cozy up now with a hot cup of tea or listen while you walk, and let me show you how doable plant-based eating can be. Let's do this. Hi, friend. If you've struggled this summer with food choices and know your body has taken quite a hit with unwanted pounds and more medical problems, don't get discouraged and give up on your health. There is still time to make positive changes and turn your health around. Let's make fall a time of reset. I want to support you in this. That's why I've decided to put together a special resource bundle with the Plant-Powered Life Transformation course to support those wanting to make a positive change this fall, for the better. But it will only be available for a very limited time. Make sure to save the date for September 9th, which is coming up in 2 weeks, as you'll hear all the details of the Back to Health sale then. When we're moving to a plant-based diet, it can be hard sometimes to say goodbye to all the familiar dairy and egg-containing treats and foods we used to have. You know what I mean. Milk chocolate cookies, Danish pastries, cheese puffs, butter-smothered popcorn, and cream-filled donuts, just to name a few. Sure, there are plenty of vegan packaged options available now, such as vegan cookies like Oreos, vegan ice cream, biscuits, and other desserts. But the problem is, these are highly processed commercial foods and often come with added salt, oils, and lots of added refined sugar. So they aren't exactly the healthiest. Plus, they're not cheap either. So what do you do when a snack or sugar craving kicks in? In my work with clients, I always troubleshoot first for possible reasons behind a craving. Because I think we all know that often our cravings can be fueled by other reasons besides hunger. For example, it could be related to not eating enough at main meals or not having the right plant-based food components on your plate. At other times, there could be an emotional or habitual reason fueling the sweet tooth attack or craving. My husband would be the first to admit that he has a long-standing habit of having a little something with his cup of tea in the evenings, be it tahini or hummus on toast, a cookie, or something else. But we all know it's not due to hunger, because sometimes that evening cuppa and snack comes within 20 minutes of having dinner. I say all this because it is important to be mindful of not just what we're eating daily, but also when we're eating and why. That is, if you're really wanting to move into a healthier relationship with food, a strong plant-powered lifestyle, and reach those desired health and weight goals. But for those times when you do need a healthy plant-based afternoon snack, or want to make a nutrient-packed treat for your children or grandkids, then these sweet potato tahini cookies are just the thing to make. So let's talk about these cookies. What's so special about them? Well, first of all, let me tell you why I created this recipe. A few months ago, it was my daughter's birthday, and I wanted to make a special new treat to commemorate her birthday. But I also wanted it to be something that would be super easy to make and mostly allergen-free, so we could make a big batch to share with her classmates and friends at church. That meant these cookies needed to be nut-free, dairy-free, and egg-free, so children with common food allergies would be able to enjoy them. Thankfully, vegan cookies are already dairy and egg-free, but I needed to make them nut-free as well. I've also seen lots of online vegan cookie recipes with great reviews, but which actually use a hefty amount of refined sugar, like white sugar, maple syrup, or honey. I definitely wanted a healthier plant-based version. And bananas are such a common ingredient in vegan baked recipes that I wanted to make a cookie recipe without it. I guess I've set myself up for a pretty tough challenge, haven't I? Well, that's how I came up in the end with using sweet potatoes and raisins to be natural sweeteners. And it worked! These cookies turned out to be a success. Now let me tell you how to make these sweet potato tahini cookies. You actually only need 8 key ingredients, and the recipe makes 24 cookies. Here are the main ingredients: raisins, oat flour, baking powder, sweet potato puree, tahini, which is a ground sesame paste, ground cinnamon, ground nutmeg, and ground cloves. That's it. It's unbelievably simple. Now here's what you need to do. First, cook a large sweet potato if you don't already have one pre-cooked to use. The fastest way to do this is to use the microwave, but you can cook it using other methods too, like baking, roasting, steaming, or boiling. When the sweet potato is cooked, remove the skin and mash the flesh up to get 1 cup's worth. Meanwhile, soak a half cup of raisins in very hot water for 10 minutes. Then move the drained raisins into a blender or food processor bowl. Now you'll want to blend together the cup of sweet potato puree with tahini, ground cloves, ground nutmeg, ground cinnamon, and the drained raisins until smooth. That forms the wet mixture. Next, create the dry mixture. This is super easy. Just mix together the oat flour with baking powder in a large mixing bowl. And you don't need to go out and buy a commercial package of oat flour. Save that money. You can easily make oat flour at home yourself by directly blending up oats in a food processor. Now here are the final 2 steps. Add the wet blended ingredients into the dry oat flour mixture and mix well to combine all fully. The combined cookie dough will remain a little sticky, and that's expected. You can now use large spoons to scoop little mounds of the cookie dough onto a parchment-lined baking tray. Use the back of 1 spoon to flatten the top of each cookie slightly. These cookies really don't have to be perfect in size or shape. They just need to taste good. Then, bake them in a preheated oven at 350 degrees Fahrenheit or 177 degrees Celsius for just 10 minutes. That's right. These cookies only need 10 minutes of bake time, so they are super fast to bake up. Don't overbake them. There are a few key things I want you to know about these cookies. After baking, these cookies will have a chewy texture instead of a crunchy one. Also, if you need this recipe to be gluten-free, be sure to use certified gluten-free oats to make the oat flour instead of regular oats. What I love about this recipe is that it's simple to put together, has a fast bake time, and the cookies keep really well frozen. After we made that first batch of cookies, we packaged them up into little gift bundles to give to my daughter's classmates and church friends. They all enjoyed them, and we've since made many more batches. To get the full details for this sweet potato tahini cookie recipe, go to the link in the show notes for this episode, and it'll take you to the recipe on my website. You can also go to plantnourish.com/blog and search under the recipe category. So today we looked at a simple, tasty snack or treat you can make, sweet potato tahini cookies. Besides enjoying these cookies within your family, know that you can also make them for class parties and social gatherings since they are free from major common allergens. But these cookies do contain tahini, so just be aware that some people may be allergic to sesame. If you don't have any food allergies to the ingredients in this recipe, I hope you will give these cookies a try and taste. That will be your action step for this episode. I hope you'll enjoy them. Now I want to leave you with a fun cookie story. Recently, our family invited some guests over for tea and a chat after dinner. When I served these sweet potato tahini cookies, one guest was wary about eating them because he had diabetes. But when I told him that the cookies contained no added refined sugar, he immediately took a cookie and bit into it. But he then told me that the cookies still tasted sweet. He couldn't believe that the cookies didn't contain sweeteners like white sugar, honey, or maple syrup. So I explained why. Now you know how these cookies could be sweet too, without any added refined sugar. Yes, they are naturally sweetened by sweet potato and raisins. Friend, today I only shared one snack or treat option with you in this episode, but I want you to know that there can be many other delicious snack and dessert options on a plant-based diet. That's one of the reasons why I put together the Plant Power Life Transformation course, to be able to more easily share meal ideas and simple yet tasty whole food plant-based recipes for meals, snacks, breakfast, and dessert. This 6-module online course will also give you practical strategies, essential skills, kitchen prep hacks, and smart meal planning tips to help you succeed in your new lifestyle. Go to plantnourish.com/PPLT course or see the link in the show notes for more details. And stay tuned to this podcast so you won't miss the Back to Health sale bundle coming up very soon on September 9th. Thank you for listening to the Plant-Based Eating Made Easy podcast. If this podcast has helped you, please take a moment to rate and leave a written review on the Apple Podcast app or on iTunes. Knowing how this podcast has made a difference in your life never fails to light me up. I may also select your review to be read on the show. Remember that moving to plant-based eating can be simple and doable, even with your existing health challenges and busy lifestyle. If you have a plant-based diet question you'd like me to answer on this show, share that question with me using the contact options in the show notes. Thanks for joining me today, and I can't wait to connect with you again in the next episode. Until next time, keep plant-focused and thriving, my friend.